Yo there, football geeks, what's up, and welcome back to Footleaks. Fernando José Torres Sanz is a former Spanish football striker who recently announced that after 18 years of playing professional football, he was going to hang up the mantle and retire from his career. The announcement was not met with surprise, as many believed that it was about time he stopped playing. The football star that was once arguably the best striker in Europe was no longer relevant. Let's look into the rise and fall of Fernando Torres. But before we do that, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any more of our videos in the future. Early career. Torres' love for football started from a very young age, and he joined his first football club as a goalkeeper at the age of 5, but started playing as a striker by the time he was 7. When he was 11, he was welcomed to an 11-side team named Rio 13. For this team, he scored 55 goals in one single season and was one of the 3 members of his team that got a trial with Atletico Football Club's youth system. Torres had been an avid supporter of the club since the beginning after being inspired by his grandfather's love for them. Needless to say, the 11-year-old striker impressed the scouts and was offered to join the club's youth division. Atletico Madrid career. The star immediately rose through the ranks of the division and was sent to represent the club's under-15 team to the Nike Cup in Spain and Europe. His team won the championship, and Fernando Torres was named the best player in Europe in the under-15 group. This was a huge accomplishment for any player, and it was just the glimpse of the promising future he was bound to have. In 1999, at the age of 15, Torres was contracted by the club to play for their youth team and honor division. His 2001 to 2002 season with Atletico didn't go very well, as he only scored 6 out of the 36 times he played. Regardless of his performance though, Atletico was still promoted to La Liga, Spain's major football league, by the end of the season. With his first season with Atletico in La Liga, Torres performed much better as he scored 13 goals in a total of 29 games, making his team finish at the 11th position. By this time, Chelsea's new owner Roman Abramovich made a bid of $28 million for Torres, but it was rejected by the club's board of directors. This decision was shown to be fruitful for the club when Torres scored 19 goals in 35 games in his second La Liga season and became the joint 3rd highest scorer in the league. His success made him the captain of Atletico Madrid at the young age of 19. Though in hindsight, Fernando Torres admits that this was a huge responsibility, and taking it on at such a young age had proved to be disastrous for his self-esteem. He also confessed that trying to command a team full of senior and elder players was a difficult and taxing job and anxiety-inducing. Despite his internal struggles and deteriorating confidence in himself, he led his team to the 2004 UEFA in Torto Club. The team was the runner-up in that championship after losing a penalty shootout. His skills made him a top target for FA Premier League transfers, and Atletico was getting a bunch of offers. Liverpool career 2008 to 2010. Initially, the athletic club president was hesitant to send Torres away and denied several allegations of transfers. However, rumors started that they had made a deal for $25 million with Liverpool. In a press conference held on the 4th of July, Torres bid goodbye to Atletico Madrid fans and announced that he was heading to Liverpool with a 6-year contract. He was an instant success at Liverpool and proved to be a wise investment. He was soon named the Premier League Player of the Month for February 2008 for scoring 4 goals in 4 matches. He became the first Liverpool player since November 1946 to score hat-tricks in 2 successive home games. By March, he became the first Liverpool player since the 1995-96 season to score more than 20 goals in one season. In April 2008, it was announced that he was one of 6 players shortlisted for the PFA Players' Player of the Year award, which was eventually won by Manchester United's Cristiano Ronaldo. He was also nominated for the PFA Young Player of the Year award and the FWA Footballer of the Year award. In a game against the Tottenham Hotspur, he set a record for the most prolific foreign goal scorer in a debut season in England. He was just as aggressive in the following season, but he was limited by several injuries that hindered his game. Nevertheless, that didn't stop him from being shortlisted for the FIFA World Player of the Year award. He became third after Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. He was named in Time's list of the 50 greatest Liverpool players. International career. Torres started playing with the Spanish national under-16 teams back in February 2001 and led his team to victory in the 2001 UEFA European Under-16 Championship in May by scoring the only game in the final. His attempt with the under-17 team was not very successful, but in 2002, he once again scored the only goal in the 2002 UEFA European Under-19 Championship. He was the top scorer of the tournament and was named the player of the tournament. On 6 September 2003, Torres made his debut on the senior Spanish national team in a friendly match against Portugal. He scored 7 goals in 11 matches during the 2006 FIFA World Cup qualifiers, making him the top scorer in the category. He was once again called to play for the Spanish national team for the European Championship and led his team to a well-deserved victory against Germany in the finals. He scored the winning goal and was named man of the match. He was named striker in the team of the tournament. Torres became the youngest player to reach 60 games for Spain in the 2001 World Cup qualifiers. He scored the fastest hat-trick by any player in just 17 minutes into the game against New Zealand in a Confederations Cup match. The team came third in that tournament. A knee injury made his chances at playing the World Cup very slim, and he mainly played as a substitute. He entered the final at 105 minutes in the historic World Cup win for Spain against the Netherlands in 2010. He was selected in the Euro 2012. In the final, he was added on the field as a substitute, but managed to score 1 goal and assist in another one. He was awarded the Golden Boot for the tournament, having 3 goals and 1 assist in fewer minutes than Mario Gomez, who had the same amount of goals and assists. Injuries and subsequent downfall. His time with Liverpool saw 2 distinctive eras for the players. The first one, glorious, signified with goals like the one against Marseille in 2007, which displayed his versatility and polished skills as an all-round center forward. Torres, similar to his first goal, made a historical one in Anfield, but he had always undermined his capabilities and commented on that goal, saying, "Individual goals are often the most striking and skillful." He continued on by saying, "But I don't think they're the most beautiful." The second half of his time with Liverpool was painful. It consisted of consecutive injuries from the player and kept him off-field and on the bench for most of it. He had a history of suffering from hamstring injuries in 2010. To combat this, he had scheduled a knee surgery for himself to make a comeback in the World Cup. The surgery was necessary to beat him into the shape fit for this event of global significance. Deemed and cleared as fit, he was playing well on the ground until he was, after the quarterfinals, dropped by Vicente del Bosque. This was followed by another injury that held him down for quite a long period. This was followed by a truly trying time for the player. His struggle to not only conquer the physical limitations put on by the injury, but his own anxieties and worries of trying to emerge from this. This was the prime of Torres' career, and every setback proved to be a disastrous blow. Torres now had to overcome his affliction of still making it big at the peak of his career, while also dealing with a split on field between Tom Hicks and George Gillett, a messy and sticky situation at the Anfield. All of this had required Torres' immediate attention. Little hope was soon extinguished when Fenway Sports Group took over in October of 2010, with no improvement detected in the prevailing situations. January brought a piece of unexpected news. Torres had personally handed in a request for a transfer. He felt neglected and unvalued from what he tells. His version dramatically contradicts the official reports, but when Torres asked for reassurances from the executives that his future is secured with the club and received no affirmation, he felt rejected, to say the least, and quietly submitted the request to depart from the club. This is a pretty indigestible piece of news, but it sits well given how the player characteristically acts. He definitely is not known for accepting his talents or his skills. He constantly undermines and underestimates himself, and it is largely due to his own anxiety. He even fails to recognize the legitimacy of appreciation he's showered with by the fans and critics alike. This was supported by the fact that Edward Weiss, FSG's former general counsel, went on to comment that the new owners of Liverpool had collectively come to the conclusion that Fernando Torres has seen the peak of his career and has passed through the best of it. Now, these comments were made in 2016, but they might as well be said today as hindsight, because when FSG talked of Torres' decline, they were right on with their predictions. Following this, a discordant €50 million transfer to Chelsea was seen. Torres' decent performance of 50 goals in 172 appearances hid behind it a swift downfall. Torres was seen from glazing the top sheets with golden streaks to a forlorn shell of a player with his head hung low and shoulders buckling under the increasing burden of expectations he couldn't possibly rise to. It's rare for a player to meet an honorable end that brings about no ridicule, and Torres suffered the same fate. He was dealt with the same humiliating hand of mockery and taunts in modern football. Torres was not lucky enough to escape the shark-tongued offenses and was constantly subjected to it. There were genuine sadness and grief coupled with disappointment and surrender. Torres' downfall in magnitude and speed was the first to be seen. No player in history had been disgraced with such intensity. The bitterness and contempt that tailed him to Merseyside after him bidding farewell broke him even more than anything in his career ever did. He found it hard to try and cope with the demands of fast-paced sports. He had a great deal of admiration and affection for the club, his glorious time there, and the fans who supported him through and through, all in vain though. In 2014, he unsuccessfully tried to salvage whatever was left of his reputation, but by deciding against the opportunity to score Chelsea's second goal at Anfield, he lost all the chances to do so. Although this was an olive branch, he made a comeback to Steven Gerrard's testimonial the next year, but at what cost? The crowd warmly welcomed him back with open arms, singing his praise. It would be unfair to not recognize his achievements following this. The post-2011 career of Torres did see some light of fame. He even lifted most of his trophies. He managed to secure the title of the top scorer at Euro 2012 with only 3 goals, and that too on a tie-break. He also lifted his first trophy with Atletico. Chelsea fans are more than willing to forgive their once favorite player. He had disappointed them with his underwhelming performance, but all is well because of the one goal that mattered the most, the one at Camp Nou, which reserved the place for them in that year's Champions League final. He announced that he plans to retire from football altogether. He played his last season with Seigan Tosu in Japan. Before that, he had already bid goodbye to Atletico and the European football. He apologized for giving so little. This did not ring right with the fans. This spoke of his persisting anxieties and self-doubt, an unnecessarily underselling message. He could have been so much more, just behind Messi and Ronaldo. He did manage to carry his team through victories of 1 World Cup and 2 European Championships, bringing the title back to his country. This brings us to the end of our video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, do let us know by hitting the like button. Stick around for more amazing content, as we'll be seeing you guys in another video real soon. Until then, take care and goodbye.